is I want people to sort of understand the idea of bringing them together. What can you do together? What can you do in a group? How can you bring skill sets together, right, to elevate each other? I want to provide for this community, right, because this community is taking care of me.
The common ground that we share is that we've been impacted through colonialism, and we've been displaced, and this causes divisions because of the Western world and their mindset and the way that they view things as individualism.
Discipline being there for you when motivation's not. So it's just like making sure I'm on my grind non-stop, you know, just keep working and working and working and working.
You are listening to CKMS 102.7 FM Radio Waterloo, and that was from the introduction to Mattmac's third album, All Eyes on Me. We are Two White Feather, Lori Gentle Eagle, and Cedar the Emotional Support Pup, with her wolf pack, including Rogue, Arrow, and Rufus. This is the Red Road Journey, where we aim to amplify Indigenous voices to heal ourselves, our relatives, our communities, and our planet. We are broadcasting from the traditional territories of the Neutral, Anishinaabeg, and Haudenosaunee people. Today on the Red Road Journey radio show, we're going to focus our attention on ableism and disability. And we are going to play music from All Eyes on Us, which is the third album, as I mentioned, belonging to blind music producer and recording artist Mattmac. And from his website, I'm just going to read a little clip. It says, All Eyes on Us is a highly collaborative, meticulously crafted project that features 15 Indigenous artists from across North America and sonic soundscapes that span the entire genre of hip-hop. The title of the album is a nod to the confidence, growth, and maturation the artist feels both musically and personally as he reveals his career-spanning journey to accept his place in the spotlight. Across 18 songs, Mattmac and his all-star collaborators share tales of resilience, growth, community, affirmation, and pride. Both Two White Feather and I met Mattmac at Willow River Park a couple of years now, and it was a wonderful experience. We just had a brief moment to chat after the show, but he graciously gave us a copy of the CD and signed it for us. So you're going to be hearing music from that CD that we now have in our collection. First up, we're going to listen to a reel put out by a woman who posts quite a bit on social media. Her handle is Chronically Jenny, and here she is talking about things disabled people are expected to do that non-disabled people would never be asked.
Once you notice them, you can't unsee them. 1. Prove our disability on demand. Non-disabled people are never asked to list their symptoms, injuries, or diagnoses just to be believed. Yet disabled people get questioned about mobility aids, parking, time off, adjustments, as if our lives are court cases. 2. Be grateful for the bare minimum. A lift that works, a ramp that's not blocked, a toilet you can actually get into. These are treated as luxuries, not access. No one else is expected to be grateful for simply being able to enter a building. 3. Plan everything around other people's comfort. We're expected to avoid being an inconvenience, to take the longer route or the harder option, so no one has to move a chair or hold a door. Non-disabled people don't have to apologise for just existing. 4. Justify needing rest or support. Non-disabled people can say they're tired and nobody asks for evidence. Disabled people say they're tired and it becomes a debate, a judgment, or an accusation. 5. We're expected to accept reduced opportunities with a smile. Jobs, events, education, social plans. Disabled people are expected to be understanding when something isn't accessible or equitable, as if we should be grateful to be included at all. 6. Teach everyone else about disability for free. We get asked to explain policy, access, language, and lived experience at any time, even by people who could easily look it up. Non-disabled people are never expected to be walking encyclopedias of their identity. 7. We're expected to stay positive so other people don't feel awkward. We're expected to often soften the truth so it's easier for others to hear. Non-disabled people are allowed to have bad days without being inspirational or disappointing. What would you add to the list? Let me know in the comments.
I don't have anything to add per se to what Chronically Jenny was stating there, but I do want to emphasize the reduced opportunity based on an experience I had just recently that I'm still working through. So many of you who know me know that the last couple of years have been particularly challenging for me due to chronic pain, inflammation, fatigue, and significantly limited mobility. I found myself, having to navigate the world in a very different way with a lot of losses and also the use of mobility aids. And I have been working full-time at my job. I've been there 9 years so far and in the field for 30 plus years. And recently I had the experience of doctors' recommendations on the functional abilities form being misinterpreted by my employer. And what happened was I was directed to, effective immediately, reduce my hours to 1 day in office and then applying sick time for the remaining 4 days in my work week. This was rather than have a continued remote work assignment, which was accommodation that I had asked for with support through my doctor in September 2025. As you can imagine, this has only exacerbated the condition that I'm in, and I am now having to spend a lot of time and energy fighting this injustice. But I am doing that with support through the union. To mark International Day of Persons with Disabilities and to help drive disability inclusion in corporate Canada, the company KPMG undertook a survey of 1,000 Canadians with disabilities for insights into workplace-related disability issues and employment trends. So let's listen to some of the key poll highlights. 87% of 1,000 Canadians with disabilities in this survey are currently employed. 60% of this group are actively seeking new employment elsewhere. 13% are currently unemployed and actively seeking employment. 60% feel underemployed. So they're working in a job that does not make full use of their skills or abilities. And then with regard to ableism, 44% experienced acts of ableism at work in the past 12 months. 58% of persons with apparent or visible disabilities compared to 39% with non-apparent or invisible disabilities. 60% of people of color and 61% of Indigenous people with disabilities experienced acts of ableism at work in the past 12 months. 43% witnessed acts of ableism against one or more colleagues in the past year. Only 32% strongly agree that their workplace is a safe environment for them to disclose their disability to others. 68% say they have to work harder than their colleagues who do not have disabilities to be valued and recognized in the same way. This jumps to 81% if we're talking about persons with visible disabilities, compared to 62% of those with invisible disabilities. It's also higher for women compared to men. So 71% for women versus 62% for men. And then people of color, that's 82%, and Indigenous peoples, 75%. Wow, pretty stunning here in terms of those statistics. And Rob Davis, who is the Chief Inclusion, Diversity and Equity Officer at KPMG in Canada, says that the poll, right, uncovers that persons with disabilities feel their employers are not fully utilizing their talents, representing a loss of skills, creativity, and productivity to businesses in Canada. And he says this should be a wake-up call for organizations to take a much closer look at their workplace culture, as well as at policies and practices to build a respectful and inclusive work environment for people with apparent and non-apparent disabilities. Otherwise, they risk losing top talent. And I guess all I can say there is shame. And here we go with the song off of All Eyes on Me. This is Mattmac and Stella Standing Bear with Imposters.
Authorities describe the scene as chaotic.
Trauma, and the gossip, I'm over it. Need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. All the drama, and the gossip, I'm over it. Need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. I don't go outside cause I'm off, yeah. They see you winning, then they wanna rock, yeah. All these voices in my head, they imposter. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. Not away, I'm on my own. I heard all you said, don't wanna do no talk. Okay, I'm getting fucked up, no one don't give a fuck what you thought. Still the same even when I'm at the cushy, you find me somewhere on the bomb. The soul from the rise, I'm at my place. I still remember them days like original, I'm getting the cake. I cannot be fake, I'm facing my problems, I'll do what it takes. Just so you can play, just turn up the bass when you feel the pain. No trauma, and the gossip, I'm over it. Need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. All the drama, and the gossip, I'm over it. Need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. I don't go outside cause I'm out, yeah. They see you winning, then they wanna rock, yeah. All these voices in my head, they imposter. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. I don't go outside cause I'm out, yeah. They see you winning, then they wanna rock, yeah. All these voices in my head, they imposter. drama, no trauma, and the gossip. I'm over it, need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. All the drama, no trauma, and the gossip. I'm over it, need the commas, need the prosper, no dollars, no counterfeit. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. I don't go outside 'cause I'm out, yeah. They see you winning and they wanna rock, yeah. All these voices in my head, they imposters. I wanna see my people at the top, yeah. I don't go outside 'cause I'm out, yeah. They see you winning and they wanna rock, yeah. All these voices in my head, they imposters. Come on,
Okay, that was Mattmac and Stella Standing Bear with Imposters. Next, we wanted to introduce you to a woman who dedicated her life to representing disability in an ableist world. Her name is Alice Wong, and she's an Asian American disabled woman. She's an activist, a writer, an editor, a community organizer. She passed, unfortunately, on November the 14th in 2025. And next week, on Wednesday, March the 25th, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so you'll have to convert that to Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be a celebration of life, and it will be live streamed on YouTube. Following that, there will also be a virtual reception. For that, you have to register because that will take place via a Zoom meeting. You can also celebrate the life of Alice Wong by going on to her website, disabilityvisibilityproject.com. And there you'll see the many ways that Alice challenged the status quo and challenged us to deepen our commitments to disability justice and collective liberation. I want to leave you with a quotation by Alice Wong, and hopefully this will motivate us to continue to work for change and represent disability in a good way in this ableist world. She says, "As a person born disabled in a world that was never built for me, I had no choice to be an activist. It was a means of survival." Okay, and we're going to get into another song here off of the All Eyes on Us CD by Mattmac and others. And this one is going to be Mattmac singing with Rex Smallboy, and the song is called Give It Time.
You'll never understand where I'm from.
trust. Because I can't help overthink and I feel stuck. Now you wonder why I'm calling off the plug. All these people talking, but there's nothing to discuss. I've been waiting for my time to come. Been going crazy and my mind is numb. The light is fading 'cause we're dying young. Yeah, this life's so amazing. Feels like I am lost. Yeah, just give it time, and I'll be fine. Hang in there, hold on tight, just keep fighting. Keep believing, don't give up, keep on trying. Take a chance, give it time, don't give up. Look inside, understand you good enough. You need to believe in yourself when no one cares. You need to continue to work with nobody there. The key is to visualize, living your best life. 24 hours a day, working the late nights. Nothing worth having is ever gonna be easy to get. Give it time, keep trying again and again. Hold yourself up with love and with pride. You are worthy, so give it time. I've been waiting for my time to come. Been going crazy and my mind is numb. The light is fading 'cause we're dying young. Yeah, this life's so amazing. Feels like I am lost. Yeah, just give it time, and I'll be fine.
Some beautiful imagery in that video for Give It Time by Mattmac and Rex Smallboy. And you may have heard the water, just the waves crashing there at the end. So many of you will remember Terry Fox. I wonder how many of you remember or know about Rick Hansen. Two White Feather and I were just having a conversation about that. He recognized Terry Fox right away, but Rick Hansen was not someone that he knew of. And Rick Hansen was a Canadian. He was in an accident that paralyzed him from the waist down. He had a very significant spinal cord injury. But that did not stop this Canadian hero. He went on to graduate with a degree in physical education. He was the first disabled individual to do that, paving the way for future generations of people with disabilities. And he established himself as a world-class athlete. In 1985, I can't believe it's been 41 years ago now, but Rick and his team departed from Vancouver to embark on the Man in Motion World Tour. And that was a global journey to remove barriers and raise awareness of the potential of people with disabilities. And May 22nd, 1987, Rick and his team completed that Man in Motion World Tour, returning to Vancouver with a hero's welcome. And the tour was definitely successful and changed perceptions, proving that people with disabilities belong everywhere.
Woo-hoo.
It actually raised $26 million.
Oh.
And I mentioned Rick Hansen because I wanted to draw your attention to an article that was written and included on the Rick Hansen Foundation forum. And it's about Indigenous disability awareness. And it's a conversation between Dr. Rhianna Robinson and Lisa Smith. And I'm just going to share some excerpts. First off, though, Dr. Rhianna Robinson is a Métis woman in Prince George, British Columbia. She is a member of the Manitoba Métis Federation, an assistant professor in the Department of First Nations Studies at the University of Northern British Columbia, a disability rights advocate, and a proud mother of two. She also lives with secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. Since receiving her diagnosis at 19 years old, Dr. Robinson has been navigating the world through an evolving lens of physical disability, including increased limited mobility, varying stages of vision loss, fatigue, loss of balance, limited dexterity, and incontinence. That lens is layered with the intersectionality of being Indigenous and a woman. Dr. Robinson explains that the notion of disability as being a singular, overarching term is a colonial social construct. Given the rich diversity among Indigenous people, including First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, the colonial perspective of disability does not necessarily align with the traditional views of many Indigenous groups. The imposition of this construct has definitely interrupted Indigenous perspectives of disability, Dr. Robinson says. In many Indigenous languages, there is not a word that exists for disability. People were given attributes and gifts of difference, and those gifts of difference were just that, a way that other people, able-bodied people, were unable to experience the world. And it was, and still is, a space that Indigenous communities hold in a position of high regard and move away from a deficit-oriented perspective of disabled peoples. Language isn't the only difference between colonial and Indigenous perspectives on disability. Dr. Robinson explains, some literature shares that for Indigenous communities, health and ability extended far past one's physicality. It was about your relationship with each other. It was about your relationship with the land, with culture, and it was about your relationship with the spirit world, she says. She adds that the role of kinship represents inclusion and interconnectedness in broad, important, and meaningful ways. In that same article, we also have Lisa Smith, an Inuk woman, a former criminal lawyer, and current Senior Director, Governance, International, and Parliamentary Relations for the Native Women's Association of Canada. And she says, a lot of Indigenous cultures would have really celebrated disability. I've heard some wonderful stories from elders about how there are some Indigenous peoples who believe that disabilities are gifts from the Creator. Even that word that we're using, disability, a lot of Indigenous people won't use that word because it doesn't reflect who they are. It doesn't reflect their gifts, and it doesn't reflect how their community values them. She says that we must really take time to understand the legacy of colonialism and what it means and how it might affect the disabled community. Understand what it means to be Indigenous in Canada and then what it means to be Indigenous and disabled in Canada. Really trying to understand that intersectionality. Inclusion, accessibility, and allyship play an integral role in creating a world for everyone, everywhere. Together, we can create a global community that is welcoming and reflective of all lived experiences and celebrates the unique value each person provides in creating a more abundantly diverse society. And our next song by Mattmac and Too Sick is called Still Got Love.
And now some friends I
I'm representing, can you blame me? Where I'm coming from is still crazy. Shot with the fans trying to save me. They try to trap us with no motivation. Yeah, watch us need you going mainstream. But known for the culture that made me. Wanna see all of my people be great. Way too many opportunities wasted. Can't spend up all of my time trying to get high and get wasted. But I know how it get when you feeling the pain. Out in the city, I'm feeling the same. Stay grinding from lessons I learned on the rest. I won't get far away. When I'm coming back home, I just wanna show all of my cousins we made it. I don't care when I hear any spot that I go and put on for GH. You turn this up and I'm times on yellow and you feel like you're losing your way. I still got love for the rest, yeah. Cause I know how hard life can get, yeah. I still got love for the rest, yeah. And now some friends I regret. Stuck in my head, been fighting some demons. I still got some family that be screaming at this. Everybody got their reasons. It's all love every time I see them. I still got love for the rest, yeah. And here's to the nights I regret. If you go from the rest, know your life got obstacles. They killing our people, but murder's unsolvable. Like how is this possible? I can't even pour, but think about water to top it all. My neighbors been nodding off. I think goody up, but I'm real too thin. I told them to knock it off. Had to put a whole place on, and still I've been slept on. Been waiting on a shot of a big bro. I thought he was solid, I guess I was dead wrong. Man, I should've said something. Get it, gonna be power, I'll pay it. They wondering how I made it. This one's for all of my natives. I promise one day that we all finna make it. I ain't got a problem with you, you just save it. Don't fuck with that energy, you be displaying. I needed time all on my own. Yes, I admit I did you wrong. Don't take that blame, it's not your fault. This struggle really takes me home. Back to my rest where I belong. They love me there, I could be wrong, but I still got love for the rest, yeah. Cause I know how hard life can get, yeah. I still got love for the rest, yeah. And now some friends I regret. Stuck in my head, been fighting some demons. I still got some family that be screaming at this. Everybody got their reasons. It's all love every time I see them. I still got love for the rest, yeah. And here's to the nights I regret.
Okay, next up, I wanted to share a little bit from an article called Be the Change, 6 Disabled Activists on Why the Resistance Must Be Accessible. And we're not going to have time, obviously, to go through all 6 of the individuals who contributed. So I'm just going to skip down to a woman here by the name of Leah. And she's a writer, performance artist, and educator. And she says, I think it's really important to redefine what is considered activism. The abled idea of what activism is often stuff that is really inaccessible. 20-mile-long marches with no or crappy access info, really long meetings and direct actions that may or may not be accessible to all disabled folks, and the idea that real activism means going as hard as possible. There's also the professional activist model of being on planes all the time, long meetings and conferences, etc. Those are forms of activism that are inaccessible to a lot of people, disabled people, but also parents, elders, poor and working class folks, those who aren't able to have the time and money and spoons to do all these things. There would be a lot more people involved in movements if those models weren't prompted as the only ones. I see activism in what so many disabled folks I know do. When we do life support for each other, make sure other disabled people have food, meds, rent, and care, support each other when the state and systems fail us, refuse to forget about each other, learn about each other's disabilities and what kind of support we need, listen, do medical advocacy, create disabled art and culture, crack jokes, and survive. I've seen disabled folks do everything from organize care teams when personal care attendants weren't an option for folks, to raising the money to buy accessible vans and other access equipment. This kind of activism isn't seen as glamorous or real in the able-bodied imagination, but I think that's ableist nonsense. And quite frankly, so do we. We will include a link to that article so that you can learn from the other voices that have shared in that article. So remember to check out our YouTube page for the Red Road Journey. We always list the playlist and also links to some pertinent information that we've brought up. So how can we unlearn ableism? We're going to go back to some wonderful wisdom from Chronically Jenny.
Here are the top things I had to unlearn because of ableism, and honestly, some of them took years. 1. Rest is not laziness. I used to believe that if I stopped, I was failing. Ableism taught me that rest had to be earned, and I had to unlearn that. Rest is a need, not a reward. 2. Mobility aids are not a sign of giving up. I thought using a stick or a chair meant I'd lost. Ableism taught me that mobility equals value. What I had to unlearn is that aids give freedom. They are tools, not admissions of defeat. 3. Needing adjustments does not make me difficult. I grew up trying to make everything easier for everybody else. Ableism taught me to shrink my needs, but the truth is everybody had needs, and I had to unlearn the idea that access is an inconvenience. 4. Pain does not have to be hidden to be valid. Ableism taught me to mask, to smile through it and to push harder. What I had to unlearn is that speaking up is not dramatic, it's survival. 5. Productivity is not the measure of life. Ableism taught me that my worth was dependent on my output, and I had to unlearn that my value does not disappear when my energy does. I'm still me even on my low days. 6. Saying no is not selfish. I used to apologise for every limit, and ableism taught me that I should do more, give more, be more. I had to unlearn the guilt around having boundaries. And finally, asking for help does not make me weak. Ableism taught me independence at all costs. What I had to unlearn is that community, support, and interdependence are human. What's something you had to learn because of ableism or internalized ableism?
Were there things that you had to unlearn because of ableism?
Yeah, so there's a few things, but I think this is probably one of my top priority. I guess not priorities, but something I need to unlearn is how do you pronounce that word again? I'm sorry.
Productivity?
Yes, productivity. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing anything or contributing to things that are needed to be done, but to be honest, that's not the way like First Nations, at least First Nations people look at things. There's going to be different things that you're good at compared to somebody else. For me, say for packing, for instance, I'm not really good at packing, but I'm really good at moving stuff and getting stuff to, say, Gentle Eagle here to go through it and pack it nicely, you know? So sometimes I think I'm not really doing anything. For instance, like I was saying, moving into this place, I didn't think I was really doing anything, but to be honest, I pretty much moved the whole house in and helped with the U-Haul, stuff like that. So when I'm actually thinking that I didn't really do too much by packing and this and unpacking and this and that, I actually helped with everything in between. And that's the thing that we got to stop thinking that we're not doing anything and looking at what we have done to help contribute instead of the things that we can't contribute because we don't think we can do it. Like I said, there's different things that people are going to be able to do compared to other people, right?
Yeah, and I actually am glad that you brought that up because for a person like myself with limited mobility, you know, and specifically the disability impacting my, you know, physical health, right? Some of those things that you mentioned that you assisted with recently during our move were so critical.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure, I might have been the one behind the scenes to try and find a place, to organize things into boxes as best I could.
Yeah.
But actually making the physical move, was something I couldn't do.
And that's where I was able to jump in and help out with that. Like, you know, so Gentle Legal, aka Lori LaFont here, she was able to go and look for a place where, you know, I hate doing that, and half the time I don't even know what I'm looking at, or half the time what I'm understanding of reading. You know, some of the places that I tried, you know, Lori here was, I showed Lori, a lot of it was like 2,000, 2,100 plus utilities. And, you know, sometimes me trying to look for places and stuff like that, I can't necessarily comprehend on what's being said in the ad. So there's Lori, you know, for a couple weeks now, she's been looking for a place. Yeah, and look, you know, I've gotten a lot of stuff pre-packed already. Well, stuff that, you know, somewhat organized so that we can, you know, take it out. There's some other things that need to be packed still, but like I said, I can bring out the heavy stuff so that she can go through it, right? So yeah.
So your disability is more of a mental health.
Yes, exactly.
And
yes.
neurodevelopmental issue, right? And some of the limitations that you have are around, you know, reading forms, filling out applications,
yes.
organizing, you know, times for viewings.
Time management.
That sort of thing. So,
yeah,
it's, you know, I really think it comes down to recognizing what your skills and abilities are, what your capacities are at any given moment in time.
Yeah.
And
that doesn't mean that you need to force yourself to go and try to find a place. Don't stress your guys' selves out that if you can't say, for me, read or understand, don't stress yourself out. If there's someone there like Lori, you know, or you know, even your child or your boyfriend or someone, they can help you with that. Instead of you stressing yourself over something that doesn't need to be stressed about. You know?
That's a really good point, because we're gonna play another song, but after the song we're gonna come back and talk about how to be a good ally to people with disabilities.
Talking about stress, here is Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. Look, yeah.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice to sing some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's blurry face and I care what you think. My name's blurry face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out. Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I'd probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from the creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's blurry face and I care what you think. My name's blurry face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us
Hook yes. Again, that was Stressed Out by 21 Pilots.
So we had a little bit of a departure from Mattmac there, but I know Two White Feather was really excited about finding that song again recently. And really, when we're talking about ableism and disability, as we have been in this hour, you know, wouldn't life be so much simpler if we just went back to the way things were as children, carefree.
Didn't care what people thought about how we looked or what we were doing. Like, you know, if we were all muddy playing in mud, who cares, you know? We were just free. And now when we're adults, it seems like we sort of, you know, put that on the back burner because, well, obviously when you're adulting, you got to pay bills, you got to have a job, you got to do this and that and pay rent and, you know, but to be honest, there's, you know, you can still be doing all that and still be free as a bird, like as a kid, you know, but that's the thing though, we're worried about what other people think. I do it too. I'm always worried about what people think or how I'm dressed when I go out, like, you know what I mean? So, it's just, you grow out of that, and I wish that we could go back to how we used to be and, you know, just be free birds, how we were meant to be, right? You know, so yeah.
Okay, and before we go today, we wanted to give you some really practical tools around becoming a good ally to people with disabilities. So this comes from the Centers for Disease Control of all places, but it gives us an acronym, right, for the word ally and helps us to remember the things that we need to do. So A in ally is for acknowledge and respect individual experiences and abilities. L in ally is learn about different disability types.
The other L, the second L, means leverage your influence to promote accessibility and inclusion. Y means yield the floor to people with disabilities to help identify and eliminate barriers.
Yeah. Regardless of the nature of your relationship with a disabled person, you should research their disability rather than forcing them to explain it. Right? And don't make assumptions about or speak for that person. Planning events. When you're planning events, if you are an organizer, you must ensure that the spaces are accessible physically and digitally, right? Because we certainly do a lot of things that way. And now, ask the people attending beforehand if they need any accommodations and implement those accommodations. Okay. And it's important to realize that allyship with disabled people isn't only for non-disabled people. People with disabilities don't all have the same disability, and even within the same disability, it's important to remember that people can have different needs, right? Disabled people can also be ableist towards other people with disabilities, and this is sometimes called lateral ableism. This can be especially disappointing because we expect other disabled people to understand where we're coming from. Sometimes accessibility needs conflict. For example, lots of sensory stimuli in a video can help some people focus on the content, while for others it's too much stimuli and it gets in the way of their focus. You can meet conflicting accessibility needs by providing alternative formats, right? Make sure that all formats are equally easy to find, and if someone needs another format, do your best to accommodate them. It is important that disabled people support each other in creating pan-disability accessibility, and that requires seeing the fight against ableism as a collective responsibility, even when our own needs are already met. And of course, as we mentioned before, it's really important to understand intersectionality.
Yes.
Right? People with disabilities are often multiply marginalized. Right? So be aware of that.
So, we're going to play Res by Mattmac, Dakota Bear, and Okema. So here it is.
These are the struggles we facing, writing my story on pages, free me from cages, out of this maze. I need the stage, not the praises. I lost my dad, so my mama, she raised me. I need some guidance, believe me. Life on the resident easy. I lost my cousins, my uncle, my brother, rest easy. Crater, I need you to leave me. I got so many I lost. My best friend crossed to the other side, all of the pain that it caused. I need to take some time, my life on pause. I do the best for my people, I give it my all, and this is my calling. I've been free falling. We got the problems and I can't solve all them. I got this weight on me, please wait on me. The thunderbirds coming, please rain on me. Yeah, set me free. This is for the youth that need just a little bit of hope. Yeah, lean on me. Choose to fly by, trying to stay connected, but I'm barely getting Wi-Fi. Broken distance had me indifferent, so I try. Born with so little, but so many keep a blind eye. Not much to show you, but I got my voice to offer. House shortages, yeah, we still boiling water. Isolated from the world, but who the hell cares? This the rest life gospel for those who felt scared. You heard that I'm okay, yeah, the story yours, but I got a strength from mom. She's a warrior, broken inside, but finding ways to open my mind. Been blowing smoke, yeah, let's go for a ride. But I've been chosen to rise, and the pressure is real. Cause the res is a place where many dreams get killed. Yeah, there's nothing to do. So as I sit in my room, I'm holding out hope and my dreams come true. That's the life where you're living in the home, breathing in the I'm not dreaming in the But that's the life where you're living in the freezing in the all sleepless in the I breathe the smoke from the smudge, let it fill me with your love. All the weight on my shoulders, I can feel you lifted up. You're my connection to the earth, my connection to above. You're the whole universe, you're the light, you're the love. With you by my side, I know I'm not alone. Let the heat rise, let the elders splash the stones. Sing another song, bring my ancestors here. They're telling me that we are strong, we don't ever bend to fear. Creator, I know you hear my cries and my prayers. Every day I pray for my natives, wondering why that they hate us, but they will never break us, cause we're protected, never will forget this. Our ancestors sacrificed, we respect this. We are blessed with the guidance in their message. I stay connected, especially on the rest, yeah.
Look, yeah, that was the Res remix by Mattmac, Dakota Bear, and Okema. We've actually met Mattmac and Dakota Bear. They're amazing, awesome people. Very inspiring. Look, yeah.
Okay, and just before we go here, the disability rights movement established civil rights for people with disabilities, opening up opportunities for them to participate more fully in society. And that was definitely a movement that gathered speed and momentum in the 60s. right? But the disability rights movement fell short of examining how aspects such as the intersections of race, gender, class, sexuality, etc. play a role in the oppression of people with disabilities. And so that's where we have disability justice coming into play. And disability justice is a term that was coined in 2005 by Sins Invalid, a collective of disabled queer women of color, including Patty Byrne, Mia Mingus, and the late Stacy Milburn. So, disability justice is the way to go.
So, So, I want to say thank you for listening for us about disability for this hour. And I want to say to regrets till next week. Bumma P from the Two White Feather Red Road Journey Show. And from Arcado, Cedar Bear, Rufus, Rogie, and Arrow Barrel.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bumma P.